Now, tomorrow is a national holiday here in France. It's Ascension Day, and schools are closed this coming Friday, allowing for many French people to take a 4-day weekend. And that means there is going to be lots and lots of traffic on the French highways. For more on this, we can bring in Solange Mougin. Solange, great to see you. Now, it's not common that we discuss traffic conditions on France 24, as it's likely does not speak to our international audience, but this time it might be right.
Yeah, regardless of whether you are in France right now or you may get stuck in traffic, in the heavy-duty traffic that is expected for this upcoming pont or long weekend, or whether you plan to travel to France someday, there are some key things that you need to know about French road rage and French traffic. Now, not only is there a rich and bizarre lingo, such as chassé-croisé, en accordéon, chauffard, there is also a fascinating new poll about how nearly all French drivers think they are calm, courteous, and or vigilant behind the wheel. And then, of course, there's Bison Futé, the traffic conditions map and site that's known by nearly all French people and which almost wasn't named after a bison, but after a giraffe. And in a second, I'll get into how a massive traffic jam created all of this. But first, this poll on whether the French people are good drivers or not. IFOP just released figures this week on European drivers, and it found not only do 96% of the French feel that they are good drivers, but 87% say that they fear the aggressiveness of others. So it's always others. And on top of that, 1 in 5 French drivers say they do become another person when they are behind the wheel. And we all know that road rage is not just a French thing, and it is not just a cliche. What kind of driver are you?
I'm stressed and I insult people.
It's not easy to stay calm when driving, is it?
Oh la la, in Paris. On top of that, I'm from the south. It's not easy to stay calm here between the motorcycles, the police, the ambulances. It's crazy.
It's true, some people behave very badly behind the wheel, but in real life they don't necessarily. And as soon as they're behind the wheel, they go at it.
There is a small upside to this recent poll, though, which is that bad behavior is improving a tiny little bit. Both the numbers of the people who said that they insult other drivers, 63%, is down by 4%, as is the number that say that they get out of their cars to have it out in the street with another driver, or 18%. That is also down by a few percentage points.
So, Solange, you mentioned this, that there are many terms, French terms for traffic. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, there are. You could even argue that curse words, most any curse word, could be put on the list when one is confronted with a chauffard, or a dangerous driver. But in regard to the basics, there is, of course, the word embouteillage, which means traffic, but was originally a term to mean to put into a bottle or a bouteille, and then it was used as a military term to say that you're encircling one's enemies with no way out. And it was not until the 1960s that it morphed into transportation and a traffic term. It is often used alongside its synonym bouchon, which means cork or bottle, as in je suis coincé dans les bouchons. I'm stuck in traffic. Then there are other terms like en accordéon or stop and go traffic. There's chassé-croisé.
I know that one.
Yeah. This refers to July vacationers returning home and August ones heading out. It's often a moment where there is some of the worst traffic in France. And finally, there is Bison Futé, this traffic information system with its green, orange, red, and black warning system, with people saying things like samedi c'est rouge, or Saturday it's red, or c'est noir sur les routes. It's a black day on the roads.
So, Solange, you just mentioned this color coding of traffic, which we have here in France. Comes something called Bison Futé. What exactly does it mean, and how does it work? I don't even know about this.
Yeah, which is amazing. Bison Futé is an estimate of the year's traffic and what it's going to be like. And they do this by analyzing vacation periods, regional work data, and now with better technology, it also keeps up with the current traffic, how it's it's looking at that very moment. Although there are now better, or different, not necessarily better, but other systems like the traffic radio 107.7, GPS apps. Today, Bison Futé is above all this cultural and societal thing that people talk about, as in Bison Futé says it's going to be a bad day on the roads, because traffic is something that has, for decades, gone hand in hand with these collective moments of going away, be it on a long weekend or on summer holidays. And today, like yesterday, we do a lot of the same things in our cars while sitting in traffic.
We listen to the radio and talk with my mother-in-law, and we people watch.
Why leave today and not Monday, for example?
I reserved a hotel room, and I figured other days would be the same.
We have boiled eggs, bananas. We eat to pass the time.
For you, does traffic mean the start of vacation?
Yes, of course.
So it's nice.
Not always, but it's part of the folklore.
So Solange, how did this Bison Futé system come about?
Well, it was created after a massive mega traffic jam on August 2nd, 1975, when over 60,000 cars were in traffic under a blazing sun. There were some 600 kilometers of bumper-to-bumper bouchons. So the government created, a number of people also died. So the government created a campaign to inform drivers about alternate routes from the highway, with maps of pit stops and places to go if you were in traffic. The following summer, traffic was down by 30%. So from 1976 until 2003, when it went purely digital, the Bison Futé map was published to help people pick when to leave and what roads to take. Now, why is it called Bison Futé? Well, it literally translates to clever bison, current mascot of the system. But originally, the CNIR, the National Road Information Organization, was thinking more along the lines of having a bird be the mascot with binoculars. His name would have been Timothée, or Ginette the giraffe, whose long neck would have been able to see which roads ahead were the ones to take. And the Transportation Ministry, they called for public bids on this, and an advertising executive, well, he pitched the idea of a Native American who was futé, or clever, being able to find the right path. The logo was initially a Native American, but was then changed in 2022, replacing the Indian with a silhouette of a bison. Even if today there are a lot more cars in France than there were back in 1975 when there were 15 million cars, today there are some 40 million of them. It's actually information campaigns like Bison Futé that changes in drivers' behavior that keep traffic down. Slate has an old but actually quite excellent article about how traffic is a question of supply and demand, and how it is not about making bigger highways or new ones like the A69, which was approved to go ahead today after a years-long battle against it. It's not those things that keep traffic down. Something called Bray's paradox actually proves this. But what does keep traffic down is often slower speeds, alternate departure times, and choosing different routes, or taking the train, especially when it is a red Bison Futé weekend like this one.
Are you driving this weekend?
I am.
See? Should be taking the train, but enjoy your long weekend, and thank you for teaching me about Bison Futé. I know I don't know about it because I don't drive. Thank you very much for that, Solange Mougin.